breaks and stuff, and you could say it was storm damage, but when you get up here to see from it just being up blowed over, this thing is actually twisted. Bigfoot experiment here. Classic X structure here. Both trees has just been pushed over. You can see it comes up and makes the X and down. All right, and tell them about where you was at over at Logan's, or where you and Logan was standing, and what we're fixing to do.
We're fixing to go back to our previous investigation areas where I was with Logan on the cliffside off a flat rock and
when they get in position, I can figure out where the tree is from them. All right, howdy folks. We're out here at near Turner's Bend. And I would say this is the spring investigation, but we done did one investigation this year. This is just a follow-up investigation we're going to do near Area 2 and some Campbell Cemetery area. That's a blooper right there if I ever heard one. But anyway, Campbell Cemetery area.
You can edit that out.
Yeah, I can edit it out. We're fixing to get a testimony here from Frank Maguire, and I'm going to flip the camera around, and Clint Holloway's here too, so you might get part of him in the video here. He might have something to comment too.
I don't know nothing about that.
It's Frank Maguire here, and like I was saying, he's gonna hear his testimony about an encounter that he had, and we'll just turn it over to him. Go ahead, Frank.
Hi there. Well, my name is Frank Maguire. I'm from Pulaski County. This encounter was in Jerusalem, Arkansas, right outside of Jerusalem, Arkansas, in the Ozark National Forest. It was down from some private hunting land in a camp that called the CCC camp. That was a community camp for young boys and displaced persons. It was abandoned in the 1930s, and to my knowledge, to all the research that I've done, there's no known reason why it was abandoned. My son, my oldest son, and my youngest son, we planned a hunting trip. The deer camp that we were down or adjacent to, my son, one of my oldest son's best friend hunts there, and one of my friends hunts there also. Well, we got there. I can't remember if it was. I think it was a Friday night. We got there in early or late afternoon. When we left, it was rain. When we left Pulaski County, it was raining. We got to Morrilton, and the sun popped out. And when we got on the mountain, about 30 minutes from where we were going to be at, it started misting, and it got real foggy, real ominous. We had, matter of fact, when we pulled up, we had a very ominous feeling, but being a dad, I just kind of pushed it away. It'll be all right. There's a lot of signs that kept telling us we shouldn't be there, but we ignored it. By the time we got, my son went and sighted in my rifle, and me and my younger son, we stayed there and gathered firewood, set up the camp, so forth and so on. we got late. We got a fire going. We cooked. We ate. We bedded down for the night about 7:30, 8 o'clock. At about 9 o'clock, just before I went to sleep, something woke me up, or something got my attention. Being in the military, there's a feeling you get just before you take incoming or just before you jump off or whatever on an operation, and I got that same feeling. Something said, get up. So I leaned up and I looked out, and about my 12 o'clock, I saw about 100 meters away, I saw a light. And I told my younger son, I said, hand me my sidearm. And he handed me my pistol. And I looked out, and it looked like it was moving, but side to side. It didn't look like it changed distance from me. It just looked like it moved from point to point. And I called my older son's name, and I said, I called his name. He said, Dad, I'm up. And so he was looking also. I asked him what he saw, and I asked him if he was armed. He said, yeah. I said, good. He said he pretty much saw the same thing. Now, there was intermittent cloud cover. Clouds would come by. And the moon would go, and then the moon would appear again. And it seemed like the lights were changing colors from like a reddish to like an orangish to a yellowish green, like a neon almost. And it stayed about 100 meters from us. Then about 20 minutes later, I laid back down and then I rose right back up. About 20 minutes later, we heard my younger son heard some rustling behind us, and it wasn't like it was a raccoon or anything. It was like it was steady, like paced. You know how a small game, they scurry, right. They move around, and it's intermittent and everything. Well, I started listening, and it was about I guess you could say my 4:30, and it was about 25 meters away, 25 meters or so. And then about 30, 45 minutes later, about my 8:30, there was some more rustling a little bit closer. And we listened to that for a little bit. We didn't get out of the tent. We were in a small tent. We were on concrete in a little depression. So we didn't have a high ground, which was a huge tactical mistake on my part, because shortly after that, I heard a low guttural growl, if I can mimic it, like that. Now, everybody that I've talked to said that had to be a bear or a pig or something. No, it was not. I've been all around the world, and I've been in the woods all my life. I know what animals sound like. That was not it. And the way the movement sounded, it sounded like a biped. I've tried humans before, so I know, I know what.
You can tell the difference in sound.
Huh?
You can tell the difference in sound.
Yes, exactly. Well, before the growl, I was talking to my older son, because this was his hunting trip. We were supposed to get up early the next morning and go hunt some deer and maybe some pig, being in that area. Well, I said, son, this is up to you, whatever you want to do. And I said, now, I'm not opposed to getting in a gunfight, and I'm not trying to talk arrogant or anything like that. It's just, when you have your children out, you become more repetitive than anything else, because you don't want anything bad to happen to your kids.
That's right.
And so I said, son, that's up to you. I'm good. And at this point, it seemed like time slowed, which it really didn't. You're just able to process things a little bit different. And I got really calm, which of course made my kids nervous. Because when Dad's not loud, when Dad gets real quiet, something's wrong. And
kind of listening, figuring out what's going on, what's around you.
And I asked my son, you know, what do you think? He said, well, Dad, I'm not sure. When we heard the growl, he said, we're leaving.
Yeah.
We packed up, we threw everything in the truck. He's got a little Xterra. We threw everything in there. I mean, it took me 3 or 4 days to get my fire kit together. I mean, you know, after we got back home. But when we left, the adrenaline was flowing. When we got off the mountain and we hit the road that goes where you go back to Morrilton or go to Jerusalem, you know, because we're coming from, I guess, Appleton area, or like you're going toward Appleton. When we hit that main hard packed road, everything was calm. All the nervous feelings and everything was gone.
Yeah.
So that was our little encounter. We called my wife. My son called my wife because I couldn't do anything. I was just like, wow. It was different. I didn't have the nausea. I didn't have, you know, and I know they were looking at us, and I know that there was more than one. And afterward, well, we let my wife know that we're headed back, and we'd explained it to her and everything. We got home, you know, that was the end of that. I talked to some of my buddies, and we kind of played in our mind an encounter that we had before, a couple of encounters in that same area. And we come to the realization that that may be a hunting ground for them, or like an assembly area for them. And we got there around 2:30, 3, 4 o'clock. And this is in January, so another time we got in that same area at about 4:30, 5 o'clock. I made some knocks, and we got a return in 2 different points, maybe 3 different points, almost like a triangularization,
right.
Which is what I felt like they did to us that night, me and my kids. So we looked at where we were at the deer camp. We looked at where the CCC camp was, and it looks like the path that we saw them take at our previous encounter, the area where me and my children were, was like their highway, like their freeway, their road or whatever. And let me describe the area, the little camp. It's got 1 or 2 concrete structures, brick structures. One is like a basement type thing, but it's above ground. It's just a little bit bigger than the reach of a man, the wingspan of a man, in width and in depth. And we were going to camp in there, but it was too wet. There was too much seepage, and if there's water seeping down on the inside of the walls, you know, there's probably mold. It's damp, and you don't know the integrity of the walls. So I didn't want to be pushing bricks on that. And I'm glad we didn't. I'm glad we decided not to go in there, because with one way in, one way out, and it's only just a little bit, you know, like a standard door.
Right.
You know, we get bound up in there. That's not a good place. And the
Nowhere
only thing,
to go.
huh?
You wouldn't have nowhere to go or
right.
retreat.
And with the weapons that we had, if we had to, you know, stuff bouncing off of bricks and stuff, you know, it's not conducive to a real positive thing. So, but we surmised that area was their main highway, and it could be their place where they divide things up. You know, they go hunting and they bring it back. You know, in that area before, though, we've heard at 2 o'clock in the morning, we heard squirrels barking. We heard elk bugling. We've heard owls, but their voices trailing off. You know, if you've listened to animals before, you know their voices don't trail off. There's no tail to their sound. It's precise, because nothing else is going to make that. And we've heard tons of coyotes. In the research that I've done, coyotes and squatch, they kind of hang out together. because you know coyotes they're creatures of they're predators of opportunity, and you know from what I can understand, I may be wrong, but Squatch likes to throw them around a little bit. He likes
Yeah,
to play
when they get in too close to them, they'll have encounters. But yeah, there always seem to be connected in the same areas. I'm not exactly sure what that connection is, but like you said,
and we don't know if they're their pets, if they're their dogs.
food source. Both in the same place for the same food source. So
Yeah, that was my encounter. We haven't been back up since, but we're planning something.
yeah, all right.
We're gonna have something in the works pretty soon.
So,
Yeah. Well, we thank you for sharing that, and we'll be back. And here in a little bit, we're going to go on a investigation here near cemetery in this area, Campbell Cemetery. Talk to you later. Bye.
You can bring AR.
Oh.
Tell you what, I've got the gun. I'll let you go into the tent. You can share it with you.
Oh no, I've got my AR-15. I've got a lot of room with me.
Okay.
Let's set it real quick. So,
Can
can you open it? Or not?
Yeah, just pull out.
Just pull it out like that.
Yeah, easy. And telescope, good.
Here's my front leg.
This is my unbelievable. Two in the tube and one in the tongue. Okay. Good.
Yeah, it's just a tree stump pushed over.
There you go.
What? Oh my goodness. I like that.
Hey, we'll get
I
solid.
like your toys, guys.
Solid. Well, my, don't worry about that offline, just get the raffle with the open side. And I've come down here before. There's a spot in this road. As soon as you curve, it's water and there's a grass. As soon as my foot went across that water, hit grass, heard a whoop out in the woods. So probably about 50, 75 yards. At that time I stopped and back up to the truck, so I didn't have anything on me. But I was just curious what it looked like over there.
Somebody told me pig hunt deer with an AR looks good. Cliff has rifle or something. I know.
Yeah.
We kind of just that later. We look.
30 round magazine for SKS.
Shot clip from the AR.
220,
Yeah, 3 shots. And later we found out that person laughed.
The one they limit me on my thinking
Yeah, 120.
naval long boat before they went to the Marine short boat. You only can have 10 rounds. Well, I'm under the impression they don't know what a gun is.
Oh yeah. Probably just a stump. Dark impression over there across the creek.
I see that.
You got your binoculars? Check out what that dark impression is over there across. Probably a stump, but do you see it?
Come on.
It's sure a lot darker than everything else. If it's not, it's a big old dude. Is all I can say. Either it's moving or the bushes is moving before it. I can't tell. I don't see no wind.
That's like an overhang.
Alright. That's what I figured it was. I just can't tell from here with my eyes. Well, the investigation here at Campbell Cemetery seems to be turned up a bust. We hadn't found any new evidence or anything. We're thinking about heading back over to Area 2 and do an investigation there and try to tell how tall the Bigfoot image that I seen on the night vision with Stephen James was, and we're gonna go that back over there and attempt that. We get back to Area 2 and this is what we find.
Okay. You got the camera on?
Yep.
Hey Nick, come here, I got a job for you. I want you to measure the Bigfoot shit we found.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll do that.
No joke, no lie.
No, I'm serious. I found Bigfoot shit.
I know you did.
Something.
Is it Kid Wendell?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Huh? Oh, wait a minute. Let me get him.
Hey, you're gonna have to get down so he can catch your face too.
Alright.
Don't get my tape measure on that nasty stuff. Go
Oh,
farther. It's more this way. You get just one end. Go
Come.
across the middle.
towards me. No.
No.
Long way. Run it towards Clint.
Yep, you get on that side. Or
There you go. 19 inches.
19 inches.
First of all, let's test it.
Yeah.
That's what we was gonna do, yeah.
Ew.
No,
I can't believe he did that.
it's not Fred. I got a video.
It's just a rock. No, he'll put shit in his mouth.
Yeah. I can't believe it. But we're fixing to dig in it. A little background information here. We're in an area where there's no cows that, unless it's a rogue cow that escaped.
That's what we did. She did like that. That was 19.
It looks like a cute.
Nearest part is 8. And this end is 14.
This thing has
The
runs.
center is 11. And it's 19 this way.
Wow. This thing might have the runs.
Well, it definitely got the runs, but we're fixing to dig into it and see if there's any meat or bones or anything like that, or if it's grass based, and that way we'll know.
I'm gonna go get a Ziploc baggie, and I got some rubber gloves.
You're gonna
so. And,
oh my god. I know what you're up to do.
And Nick is gonna dig into it for us.
All right, the rookie of the team.
You serious?
And we're serious.
You ain't kidding, son?
No,
All right.
it's not that bad. I used to do it for a living.
We'll be right in a minute. All right, now that we got our Bigfoot shit sample taken. Get over here and stand by Matthew, and I'm gonna let him. All right, and tell him about where you was at over at Logan's, or you and Logan was standing, and what we're fixing to do.
We're fixing to go back to our previous investigation areas where I was with Logan on the cliffside off of Flat Rock, and Clint and
Marcus.
Wendell and Marcus and everybody was here also. We're gonna have another group of two to 4 go into the other area where they were looking through night vision and saw another figure running down the cliffside, and we're going to try to get a measurement and whereabouts to figure out how tall that being was on the night vision and infrared that night. So we're just kind of doing a mock-up scenario of last time, how we set up.
All right. Oh, I see them now.
Where?
See them? The green.
I see a lot of green.
Right over there, with the black shirt and the green, hunter green. See him walking through the woods?
Oh yeah. I thought I was looking down the valley.
They were up there on the top, and that's where that deal was, by the road where y'all was. Well, that camera ain't gonna see nothing.
That thing was right up there.
That's
kind of like next to the road.
Yeah, well, that's where they was. It's out, I gotta find it. It's out to the tree.
You want me to help you with that?
There we go. When they get in position, I can figure out where the tree is from them. Binocular. Oh, I ain't got to walk either.
I guess that would be the creek coming in, wouldn't it?
It's going out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, when we're
Oh, is that the cave you was talking about?
That's one. That's the one we already videoed. It goes all the way through that hill, comes out over yonder. But the one Anthony was talking about is on down there.
Yeah, that'd be a perfect spot for a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Crawl in that cave.
There's a cave underneath this bluff here. It goes back from here to that tree.
There it is.
Yeah. Well,
You got all this on video?
yeah. It's
Yes.
on one of our shows.
I put on the recording Bigfoot for me.
Uh-huh. He's talking on the radio.
Can you hear him?
I see him.
Hear him.
I don't hear it either, but
Talk. Maybe he doesn't know how to talk.
he's talking. I hear him.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is he on one?
Yeah, he was. Channel 1.
One?
Oh, it's dead?
Here's in charge too good.
I guess not. Just yell. Did you find the rock?
Hey, Nicholas,
Yeah, you should be up. You should be down a little bit ways from you
can you see that cave over there?
and up. Should be back up and down. Yeah. Oh, you were higher than that. You were about 10 feet or 20 feet from the road, you said.
I didn't know it was that close to me and Marcus.
Yeah. I mean, it was down at the angle.
Who went through the cave?
Me and this one, Marcus went all the way through it. This one, me and Matthew just stood in there and took pictures and everything. I wouldn't really call it a cave. It's a bluff overhang where it's like this,
Okay.
like a C right here.
Just an overhang.
Yeah. This one goes all the way through and comes out over there.
Beside that rocks it fell?
Yeah. And then there's, on top of that, up there, there's an area where it looks like where you've made a sitting area out of rocks. It's neat up there. It may be natural, but Right there somewhere, Matthew. You was right there. Should be a big rock right there somewhere.
Is that a tree or is that rocks over there?
That's rock.
Like a wall over there?
Yeah. That whole bluff line goes all the way around there.
Why?
I don't know.
Can you zoom in and get some videos of that? That on the hill, that'd be awesome for a show.
I may can. I gotta find him. Where he is? Oh, I see. There's just too much foliage. I think we're gonna have to come back this fall and do a follow-up investigation to where we can see exactly what's going on and where that Bigfoot went down the bluff at. Let's just head out and investigate along the road back out of here. Yeah. Rock turned up. Matthew would probably get upset. Drove all the way to
We should make it down. We should go up in the barns, go right up the hill there, go over to that campsite and show y'all that one road I was telling you
Yeah.
about. Actually, this guy's dirt bike. I think we can ride dirt bikes down it.
They found something.
Good.
And that one looks like a toe right there. Looks like a heel. Here,
Rufus, Nicholas, and Dad Neil, and Wendell Burrows, and Tom Anderson.
Right through here.
Tom, turn around, please. Get a video of you. That's Tom.
we don't know him.
No, nobody knows me.
I just don't matter, so I'm not gonna videotape
Huh.
myself.
You got a definitely pathway through there. It's broke off. Yeah, it's right down to there. Well, guys, we've found a trackway here with one distinct track here, and that exits up through the woods. Through there in that curve. I think we're gonna call it a day here, and it's getting late in the evening, and head back and come back this fall and see if we can do another investigation, be able to see better and track everything better.